Strategy is the most important part of the entire process, and this video is going to go into LinkedIn ads strategy. We're going to look at the higher level understanding of what we should be achieving, the bigger picture, and the reason why this is important is that anyone can do the technical stuff, anyone can create lead generation forms. That's lower value tasks which anyone can do. What you should be learning is the strategy. This is the higher level, higher value stuff, the stuff that clients, or even if it's your boss, the greater value is in the strategy, understanding what to do with everything and how to move it in a direction which is going to explode your demand generation or explode the demand generation of the company you're working for. So stick around with me, let's dive into this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button before, and let's dive in now. So the first thing we need to understand is why should we go to LinkedIn ads over say Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Google? And the answer is it's the only place you can reach at scale decision makers, the C-suite, millionaires. There's some statistics I'm going to dive into in a minute, but basically these decision makers, IT directors, HR managers, CEOs of startups, all these people are on LinkedIn at scale, and you just can't hit this kind of level of authority at scale on any other platform. Facebook has the cheapest leads, Google has the highest intent, but it's really challenging with search volume. I talk about this in another video. LinkedIn is a scalable place to reach a lot of very high level individuals, from the C-suite to decision makers to IT directors. It's an incredible source or pool of individuals who are basically going to be, have the budget and have the authority to make a decision. So jumping into some stats, I'm going to read this from my computer, but there are 700 million users at the moment, 63 million senior level decision makers, 10 million C-level executives, 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn, 6 million IT decision makers, 3 million MBA graduates, 80% of B2B social leads come from LinkedIn. Compare that with 13% on Twitter and 7% on Facebook. So as you can see, the statistics are pointing to an incredible pool of individuals on LinkedIn. So this is the number one reason why we go to LinkedIn. There's no other platform that can reach such authority at scale. The second reason we go to LinkedIn over another platform is the laser sharp targeting. Whereas with Facebook, the targeting is a bit of a black art. We are, doing a lookalike, or we're doing some cold targeting stuff, interest-based targeting, and hoping the algorithm figures out who the hell we're trying to target. It can work really well, don't get me wrong. With LinkedIn, it's not such a dark art. We literally can target by job title, company size, industry, groups they're interested in, and groups is a really good one. I use groups targeting all the time. I have another video on targeting, and in fact, if you go to the description below this YouTube video, I have actually a free course on LinkedIn ads targeting like a pro. So click on that, you can sign up totally for free. I go in deep just on targeting. It's a mini course on targeting, LinkedIn ads targeting, so hit that. But targeting is the second reason it's so laser sharp. We can hit our demographic, we can hit our market segment very specifically, and we know 90% of the leads or 90% of the traffic we're sending to our landing pages are exactly who we want them to be they the HR directors, the CEOs of certain industries, the IT managers or directors, really high level individuals, and we can target them at scale really clearly. The third major reason we go to LinkedIn is because it's super scalable. There's 700 million professionals on LinkedIn, and we can target them really specifically. But the great thing is that we can target them at scale. We can reach a lot of these people. Once we crack the system that I'm going to show you in a minute, or the strategy I'm going to show you in a minute, we can then up the budget. So if we're cracking this strategy with say 2-3k a month, we can then go up to 10, 20, 30k a month and just explode the demand generation of the company you work for, or the client you are dealing with. And normally if they're a B2B software company, they want scalability and they want predictability. So it's really incredible if you're doing this for B2B software companies, because ultimately they want to go to their funders and go, hey, we've cracked this demand gen system, we're acquiring customers, or our customer acquisition cost is X amount from LinkedIn advertising. We need 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, because we want to scale our business and we want to scale this demand gen system, and we want to put $1 million next year into advertising, and we've already cracked it at a lower budget. So this works really well. We can scale the ads up on LinkedIn or social. We can't do this with search that is not as scalable. If you're it depends who you're targeting, but if you're targeting B2B, if you're a B2B software company in a new market segment, the search volume potentially is really low or very, very, like literally zero, because you're in a new market segment. Or if you're a B2B company with something, a high lifetime value, but it's a bit more of an obscure service, Google's just going to have a really low search volume. So we need to go to a social platform, and LinkedIn is the place which you can scale the targeting and the traffic to a really high authority place. So now we know LinkedIn is incredible and has an incredible pool of professionals who are decision makers and have huge authority. The next thing I would do with a client, or if someone's thinking about going to LinkedIn ads, from a strategy perspective, when I'm on the phone call with the prospect, I ask two questions. The first is, what is your lifetime value or deal size, depending? And so, for example, for B2B software companies, they often have a subscription-based model where they pay per user every month or every year, something like this. Or if you're just a B2B company and you're doing some kind of work and you have just say it costs 20K just to do the branding for your company, and that's it, then we move on to another company. That's the deal size. But the lifetime value or the deal size, I need to hear something like it's over $10,000. The second thing we need to look at is, who are you targeting? Because if you're targeting someone that we can reach on another platform which is cheaper, so for example, if you're B2B, or if you're targeting e-commerce founders, or if you're targeting, for example, small to medium-sized businesses, Facebook might actually be better for you. And I would always say, go to Facebook. To my client, I would always say, go to Facebook. If you can target your prospect on Facebook at scale, go to Facebook. But if not, then you have to go to LinkedIn. But if you're targeting, C-suite decision makers from larger companies all the way up to the Fortune 500, or for example, if you have a list of prospects, an ABM advertising strategy, or a account-based advertising strategy, then you can't do this on any other platform. I'm going to make a video just about ABM and advertising on LinkedIn. It's an incredible platform for an ABM strategy, account-based marketing strategy. So definitely subscribe, because that's going to be coming out in the near future. But basically, if you're targeting the C-suite decision makers, heads of department from companies with 50 employees plus, all the way up to the Fortune 500, then there's no other platform. I'd say you have to go to LinkedIn. You have to pay the premium prices on LinkedIn, because you just can't achieve that on any other platform out there currently. The third point I'll make here is that sometimes a company might actually have two market segments. They might be targeting SMBs, but they might also have a business model that it's based per user, for example. So if they sign up a company with 1,000 people and 1,000 users, they're going to make a lot more money than a company with 100 users, because their business model is based around the user, for example. So that might make sense then to target SMBs on Facebook, and then you go for the bigger, larger accounts on LinkedIn, because with LinkedIn we get the largest accounts. LinkedIn is known for getting the biggest deals, and therefore we could actually have a dual strategy. Hit the SMBs on Facebook, get a marketing flow where they just sign up straight. You don't even need so much sales behind it. It's all automated, and have a more sales-led LinkedIn ads strategy, which basically gets the lead and has a really strong follow-up from the sales team and automated emails, and that's all targeting the larger accounts. So this dual strategy can work really well for some companies. So the holy grail of demand generation is to send a huge amount of traffic to a landing page, convert that traffic into scheduled phone calls, which are the sales calls, demos, or trials. If you can crack that really, really well, then you're winning, because you can just scale this out. Because once someone hits the sales page and they click on, it be that scheduled call, demo, or trial, call to action, they get sent to your calendar page and they book directly in the calendar. And this is a high authority individuals from LinkedIn. This is the CTOs or the CMOs or whoever you're targeting, going at scale every single day, getting sent to the sales page, and some of them clicking and scheduling demos, and then you can convert those demos into either free trials or into customers. So it's a really powerful system which you can scale, and it's incredible to crack. But often that doesn't work, and what I would do most of the time, that works really well potentially from Facebook, but what I find is the majority of the time, like 90% of the time, we have to add an extra step to the process. So we send ads actually to an opt-in page, and we have some kind of really good gated content. Again, hit the subscribe button because I'm going to bring out a video just about like what should the gated content be and how to create one from scratch. So hit the subscribe button to get that video. But basically the master system that I build out for nearly every single client which is doing sales-led types of marketing is LinkedIn ads to an opt-in page of gated content, get the lead, and then redirect the traffic that opt-in to a sales page to get the action. And the reason why that works really well is because we're making the most of every click. We're being really efficient with the click we're buying from LinkedIn. So because LinkedIn is expensive, we have to be hyper efficient with it. So we're paying for one click. That click, some of those clicks are turning into leads, and some of those leads are turning into actions. But then those leads are being followed up with automated sales and marketing-led follow-up email sequences. I have a video I just created last week. I'll put a link down below and you can watch that, all based around how to devise a really incredible follow-up email sequence. But a lot of those will then convert at the follow-up email sequence. The ones that don't convert at the sales page will then, some will then convert with the follow-up sales and marketing-led email sequence. Furthermore, you should probably have an SDR, BDR following up with a LinkedIn message, which you can also automate with, say, Lemlist, but you can also do it manually, and following up with a LinkedIn message and potentially even a phone call. And at this point, because you have a high lifetime value, you have the flow of leads to action all being automatically going through. Some are being converted in the email follow-up sequence, and some further being converted with the sales, with the BDR or SDR. You've now got a system which is just generating a ton of actions. You're putting in X amount of money, and you're getting a lot of demos or trials or sales calls, and then it's up to you to convert the action into a sale or a contract. And once you have that whole system, you need to look at your, the conversion rate of your trial, or the conversion rate of your demo, or the conversion rate of the scheduled phone call. But if you're converting, for example, the 20% or 1 in 5 of the sales calls into a signed contract, and you have a really good system before that, then you're doing really well. You have a full-blown demand generation system which you can scale, which is super cool. So now we know what the objective is, what we're trying to hit, what's the goal we're trying to achieve. There's actually a process to get there, which I'm going to show you right now. And we can't just build that out and just go for it straight away. I find there's just so many variables that can go wrong along the way. So I've devised something called a rapid fire test. There's 3 rounds in my rapid fire test to reach the goal of this ultimate Holy Grail of a demand generation system. Round 1 is all about lead generation forms. So actually what I'm doing is not building out any of that to start with a brand new account, brand new client who's never done LinkedIn ads before, maybe never done ads before at all, maybe just Google. What I'm going to build out for them, what I'm going to start with is just lead generation forms on LinkedIn. I'm going to keep them on, I'm going to keep the I'm going to get the lead on LinkedIn, and the reason is that it's just less variables to analyze and understand and optimize before we go to sending to landing pages. Landing pages are really challenging in their own right to create ones which are really high converting landing pages, and there are so many variables to look at just with the landing pages. So we're going to start with basically just getting the ads right. So with keeping people on LinkedIn and just dealing with lead generation forms in round 1, we can look at the creatives, the copy, the optimization, the targeting, and most importantly the offer, the gated content offer. Are people converting at a good rate? Are people clicking on it? Is the click-through rate good? Do people actually like the offer you've put in front of them? All of these variables are probably at the core of everything else to come later. So we don't want to just send people straight to landing pages, because then suddenly we're adding all these other variables to look at. So round 1 takes away all those variables from the landing pages, keeps people on the platform where there's already a lot of trust, because they're on a trusted platform. So we don't have to build this trust through our landing pages. and we're keeping them on, and then we can just analyze the data based around the creative, the copy, the offer, the targeting, all this stuff. And then from that, we can iterate and optimize and learn to the point where we feel confident that the offer's converting, people are really liking it, the targeting's good, and all the other factors are good. So now we can actually divert this traffic to some different campaigns based on the creatives that are the best copy that's worked, the best hook, the best offer. And now we can start pushing that to the landing pages. So round one is keeping people on the platform and is based all around lead generation ads. Round two then sends people to the landing pages, and we start optimizing all the landing page conversion rate optimization. It's a big topic, but it's really important, and we need to make sure that the opt-in page is converting in a similar rate as the lead gen form was on the platform. If it's converting even a little bit less, that's fine, but it should be close to it, hopefully. And if not, we can optimize from there. And the third round is all about retargeting, because once we have people clicking on our ads, maybe they're not actually opting in, but we can retarget them. They had some kind of minor interest to click in the first place, so let's retarget them. Or maybe we can retarget the landing pages and target people who have clicked on your company page, or retargeted people who have come from another platform. Maybe they've you've sent traffic from Google ads or Facebook ads, and we can retarget them. So actually retargeting is really important. To be honest with you, LinkedIn's retargeting is not that great. What I do most of the time with my clients is, and this gets a bit complicated and this is a bit advanced, but I retarget on Facebook, because Facebook's the cheaper platform, and we can retarget these people on Facebook. Once we get the lead, we can upload that lead to Facebook, and we can retarget the prospect on Facebook. And if you want to take this even a step further, you can retarget them on Google Display Network, which is like 90% of the web. So suddenly when they're on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, which is people spend a lot of time on social media, they're being shown this ad, and when they're on 90% of the web researching everything else they do around the web, the ad's being shown as well. So we're being really aggressive, and it's really important to be super aggressive with retargeting, because the value of the lead is really important, and the cost per lead is much more than Facebook. So we want to be really aggressive with retargeting, and we want to be really aggressive with the follow-up sequence of emails and from the sales department. So now you should understand strategy. You should understand why LinkedIn ads are super cool. You should understand who are LinkedIn ads for, and if they're right for you or not, based around the lifetime value and who you're targeting. Then you should understand the Holy Grail system, the system we're trying to create, and how to get to that system through the rapid fire test, the 3 rounds of rapid fire test. I want to ask a quick question. Are you interested in learning this on a deeper level, where you can charge clients, you can become a LinkedIn ads pro, or actually a B2B paid social pro professional, and charge clients thousands of dollars to set these systems up and optimize these systems for them? Put a comment in the comment section below, because I want to know. I'm thinking about launching kind of a coaching thing for people. I'm thinking about taking 1 or 2 people for either cheap or very free to build out a case study, and just learn as much as I can about coaching people to become LinkedIn ads or B2B paid social professionals. So definitely leave a comment below, let me know, and speak to you all soon.